Ladies and gentlemen, it is the weirdest situation that you have all these people yapping about release the files when it comes to Epstein. Well, yesterday, the weirdest situation happened that Nancy Mace. So we're going to hear three clips in this, and you're also going to see a post of all the women that actually voted not to continue this. Okay? It's the weirdest thing, like I said, that you've had all these people, Republicans, Democrats, male, female, talking about release the list, released all the information on Epstein, so forth and so on, right? Yappity, yappity, yappy, yap. That's all we ever hear. But when you have people like Nancy Mace, Laura Borbett, I didn't say her last name correctly, and Tim Burchett, okay? Those are three people that most certainly are trying to get, in case you don't know, there's a slush fund in Washington that pays for sexual harassment for staffers or to staffers that have this happen to them via people that are in the Congress and Senate. And it was voted down yesterday to not release the information of who has used that slush fund to pay for sexual harassment, which kind of makes me wonder that maybe that slush fund is actually for other stuff as well as paying for sexual harassment. Apparently, there's been $14 million paid out of this to said people for sexual harassment, which is odd to me because there's a long list of women in Congress that voted not to continue on, to make this into law, to show who's paid out and who's been doing really shady stuff behind closed doors. We'll just put it like that. It's odd to me how many people have said, please release all the information, and then stand in front of microphones and yap their trap when it comes to everything Epstein because they want to try to get Trump. Well, that's so funny because the simple fact that, like I just kept on saying, these people have voted down to not release information on the slush fund that the United States Congress and Senate has for sexual harassment. Maybe it's more about sexual harassment, maybe people being real jackasses, talking down to people. I mean, it could be a whole plethora of stuff that winds up being paid out of this. What in the hell are these people hiding? They can sit there in front of all sorts of microphones, do depositions, do this, make themselves look like fools when they're doing hearings. But yet when people in Congress like Nancy Mace brings a bill to the floor to have it passed to where people, which is us, the American people, able to see what these assholes have been doing behind closed doors, and it all gets voted down, and a vast majority of them, 67 I believe, were ladies, women. But then again, we're also talking about people that apparently have no idea what a woman is. I mean, shit, you can go and have trans people go into women's bathrooms. That's okay, right? No, it's not. But hey, that's what they want to try to get you to believe. Well, why in the world do these people not want the truth to come out? You want to talk about all the Epstein victims and all that shit? Well, how about the victims that you guys have paid $14 million of hush money to keep them freaking quiet? Where in the world does that even make sense? Here's the three clips that I really want you to pay attention to. And then right after that, I'm going to show you a whole list of the women that have voted this bill down that was brought by Nancy Mace, among other people. And it just really seriously makes you say, what the hell is happening?
Party, Democrats and Republicans are, I think, whipping to refer it to committee, which means they're going to protect each other once again. It will fail, and we won't get accountability or transparency. The American people are held to one standard, and Congress is held wholly to another. And you're going to watch men in Congress, Republicans and Democrats this afternoon, hide behind the veil of let the process play out and it's going to get referred to committee and will not see the light of day, and it never will see the light of day because the process is broken.
Why is it important to include lobbyists in your resolution?
Well, it should include political campaigns. I mean, lobbyists have been harassed by members of Congress, and I've got media clippings about that from years ago. And that's why we're doing this. Like, do we care about women or do we not? And if this gets referred to the committee, then every woman, basically, Congress will have just spit in your face and said, you don't matter. You are a second-class citizen, and enough is enough, in my opinion.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Congresswoman, so obviously you've called on Congressman Gonzalez to resign over alleged sexual misconduct. There's now a resolution that would reveal a lot more about the culture of sexual misconduct in Congress. Are you supportive of that? It's by Congresswoman Mace.
I'm absolutely supportive of Congresswoman Mace's resolution to uncover the other sexual harassment issues that take place here in our nation's capital. And even further, I am supportive of releasing the Congressional Hush Money Slush Fund. There's been tens of millions of dollars that have been paid out over the years here in Congress to keep Hill staffers quiet about alleged sexual misconduct and other forms of mistreatment in the office. So I would love to see every congressman who's ever had to pay a settlement to a staffer, and I'm certainly supportive of Nancy Mace's resolution.
I guess what would be your message to a staffer who finds themselves in these terrible situations where members are being creepy to them?
I mean, it's awful. It's awful in any workplace. It certainly shouldn't be held here. We have high standards. We agree to these standards. We promise hundreds of thousands of people that we are leaders of integrity, and it shouldn't be happening here.
Got it. Thank you, Congressman.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. The House just did the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. We just voted to cover up sexual harassment of employees by members, if you can believe that. I got the sponsor right here with me, got Bobert. Y'all tell them what happened.
It's shameful. They voted against my resolution that would reveal members of Congress who sexually harass employees on the Hill, women on the Hill, in the campaigns, lobbyists, etc. Shameful. So I don't want to hear.
They sent it to the ethics committee. So a bunch of congressmen are going to investigate
so
themselves.
Let it go get hidden, right?
Yeah, this is exactly where bills go to die. So her privileged resolution is being sent to the ethics committee for members of Congress to investigate themselves. And remember, this is your tax dollars that were used
They're
in
hiding
this hush
They're
money.
hiding it.
Yeah.
Yes, this
How
was
many
used to
millions? How many
silence
millions are in that
Hill
thing?
staffers.
They said there's millions that have been paid out.
Some years there's like 4 or 5 million
Oh, you're
that went to a
kidding.
slush
Wow.
fund that paid for members of Congress with your tax dollars to allow them to go sexually harass people on the Hill. And then the second thing is I want to say is I don't want to hear another word about Epstein or Epstein victims by a single person, Republican or Democrat, that voted against revealing sexual harassment on the Hill.
Let's get
Either
that
you're
list. How many people? 49 of us voted to make it public, right?
Yep,
Actually have transparency.
49 or 50,
and,
okay.
and this is the
Barely
crap that we see
10%,
up here all the
barely
time. We are
10%.
actually standing for victims.
Okay, I'm
and we
running out of
just
time.
saw with Tony Gonzalez, his staffer, who killed herself, lit herself on fire.
worst way.
The worst way to die. And this was part of the same fund that is being covered up. Did he pay her? Maybe she never got a check,
You'll never
but she
know.
doesn't have a life
You'll never
anymore.
You'll never know. Anyway, we need transparency. Thank y'all for sending me here.
I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to support the channel, please check out my links. Noble Gold, save $100. Their food supply that lasts for 25 years could save your life. I mean, seriously, if the world falls apart and you can't get food or food spoils, my Patriot Supply is most certainly who you would want to have in your corner. I can tell you that. And if you really want a good night's sleep, check out My Pillow. Fantastic. And if you want some good, supplements, check out Boomer Products. Ladies and gentlemen, these people have stuck by my side through thick and thin as I had to deal with what I had to deal with when it comes to this channel for 5 years. When the Biden administration caught wind that I was actually having serious traction, is probably when I had 7.7 million hours watched in a 28-day period back in 2020. I cannot wait until I can talk about that situation. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, share, all that happy stuff. It helps out dramatically. If you want to help out other ways, There's all kinds of ways that you can, click on the video super thanks and so forth and so on. Guys, it helps so incredibly much as I am going through the rebuild phase of bringing an algorithm that hid a channel for 5 years back to life. It is a freaking nightmare to do that, but the more you guys visit this channel, the more you watch my videos, the more you like them, the more you comment on them, the more you share, the more it helps the algorithm do what it's supposed to do and bring back my historical data that has to do with this channel. God bless each and every one of you, and I cannot thank you enough for being here.
Food supplies have been completely wiped out. We have our evacuation of all counties. I report complete devastation. We have a giant squall, cloud, gobbling up everything in their path. This is a total loss of life.
There are forces in this world that remind us of how fragile we are. We thought we were safe. We thought it could never happen to us. Then life like a fog descends upon us, blanketing our memories. Through the haze, we travel its hidden paths, lost in its secret places. And when the storm, turbulent and immovable, forces us to shelter, we remember. It calls to us, calls us back. Back to the ports and the harbors of our past. We fight the currents that pull and drag us off course, not a light or star to chart the way. And when we arrive, we don't always know it at first, the places we once loved guised by time. Then we see it, the place we've been trying to get back to. Safe at last, we've found our way home.